So, hey everybody, it's your girl Honestly Blue. I have not been on YouTube because of some personal things, and I just wanted to check in with you guys. And because I live in the state of Wisconsin that doesn't really have resources at all for runaways. So, that is something that I have been dealing with, and it's just I'm appalled at the fact that they don't have anything to help. And basically, me reaching out to everybody, they're saying that for anything that they will build a case against me for child neglect. Um, and all they suggest is therapies and psych evals. But I just feel like, as a black woman and a black kid in a predominantly white neighborhood, or wherever the case may be, these resources are just not available to us, period, nor do they really care. So because it is one of the states that doesn't see running away as a crime, which I only saw that there were 9 states that show it as a crime. So, with that being said, Georgia, Idaho, Kentucky, Nebraska, South Carolina, Texas, Utah, West Virginia, and Wyoming are the only states that consider running away as a crime. Now, because this has been going on for, well, it's escalated the last since this month has started, and basically all I'm being told is a bunch of crap. So, like, nothing that will help me. I just feel like they would rather take someone to jail than to actually help or seek the additional resources, because for a person who's never dealt with it, like, how would you know what to do? Like, everybody is basically suggesting, like I said, just therapy, CPS. Their only goal is to prove that maybe that there may be child neglect or something, just because kids want to cry wolf. And it's funny how we have all of these rules in place to try to guard a kid, like we weren't kids before. Like, what about adult neglect? Like, kids neglect adults all the time by not listening and being disrespectful. I'm just saying, like, we don't have anything in place, depending on where you stay, to help. And I just think it's so funny to just go through all of this with kids. Like, it makes no sense to me. Just saying. But it's not something that, never in a million years, that you would expect to go through as a parent, or that you've ever seen a child, and I'm going to be real specific, a black child running away from home. I've never seen that in all of my life. You get a whooping, you call it when it is what it is. But according to CPS, and because I feel like they have a lot of say so of how you raise your child, Rich, now seeing that you guys don't help anything, so you shouldn't have a say so on how I raise or do anything with my child. So if he's not bruised, or if he doesn't have a broken bone, don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people out there that may beat their kids because they don't want them, or it could be a million other reasons, but I'm not one of those. So it's just like, it is really saddening to see that they wouldn't help or do anything in regards to something like that, besides trying to blame the parent. And us as individuals, we blame the parent all the time. And I can say that I'm guilty of that as well. Like, I will see kids acting up, and I'll be like, oh, okay, it's because your parent allowed you this, or your parent does that. I would think that. But in my case, because my child is the only child on both sides, I just feel like he is acting out because he no longer gets the luxury of what comes with being an only child. Unlimited access to TV, games, going out, because his behavior hasn't changed. So I have to take things away. That means toys, everything, because that's a part of my discipline. But I can go on and say that I can figure out things that what may be wrong. I've tried talking to him just to see what was wrong, tried taking things away, just like I said, the games, toys, etc., to just to show that what you're doing is not good, or it's not what you should be doing. Like there are consequences for your actions. Writing just to get him to express himself, just in case he can't do it verbally, or maybe that he doesn't see that my open door policy is, say however you feel, or just open, it's anything, because left in the dark, this is how you get people to assume or make assumptions, which I'm sure you guys will too, but that's not none of my concern either. I'm just putting it out there to show that there's not many resources for runaways. So that I can, like I said, he's just spoiled, and that's just how I see it. And he wants to continue to act out, which is fine. That's on him. I've even let outsiders come in that I'm comfortable with talking to him, relatives talking to him, like older people that he may think that's trustworthy or look up to mentor him. Even a life coach, like, come on now, he's 10. There's no reason why he should need it, but I'm open to it because, maybe my parenting style isn't working, and because I have to raise him alone, which there are plenty of people who have been raised in a single household and they are fine. So, I've even used positive affirmations, like you're doing good, everything's great, but it's just something about it that doesn't click with him. So, i.e. spankings as a last resort. That's what CPS would like to say, but come on now. Kids get out, nobody's going to keep spanking over the hand. So if I use a belt, so what? So be it. Because if I can't verbally just tell you, like, don't do this, because that, like, okay, that means I need to try other resources, right? But it is what it is. A lot of people don't believe in whooping their kids, but I don't believe that I should tiptoe around a child of mine, or any child, because any child should be listening to an adult. You don't pay anything, you don't work, you don't do anything. As long as you have a roof over your head, you're fed, and somewhere to sleep, nothing in the book says I have to give you a tablet or a toy or anything of any sort to entertain you. You're entertained because you have to go with me. You have to go wherever I go. If kids are around you, you are getting some type of entertainment, which I understand, but nothing in the book says I have to. This is just what we have to do, is those three things. A roof over their head, somewhere for them to sleep, and feed them, and clothe them, of course. So watching him closely is something that I shouldn't have to do because he's older. Like, you do that with your toddler. You want to keep them hip to hip and side by side because they get into a lot of stuff. At this age, he is very well aware of everything that he is doing. I can't call off work to give attention that he may feel like he deserves, or 24/7, because if I'm not working, then we become homeless, and then we don't have anywhere to stay. So if I don't stay afloat with what's going on, then we have nothing. So I don't get it, but maybe that's not clicking with them. So it is what it is. Like I said, I will still do the whole psych eval just because as a parent, which if I'm not a caring parent, I would not be doing any of this. But I definitely don't agree that outsiders needs to come into a household just to make things right when a child is acting up. And CPS shouldn't be telling people how to raise their kids if you're not going to be taking on that role. If you ain't going to take them and take care of yourself, then mind your business. Simple as that. Boot camps, military schools, but once again, that is not something that I can afford, and I don't feel like I should be paying for him to listen. That's how I see it. That's paying for him to listen. Counseling, like I said, I am looking into that too, just as a therapy. I might go for all of that for a little bit just because insurance covers some sessions that's free. But like I said, I can't afford to pay for him to listen because he should just be listening on his own. Finding ways to relax by giving books, writings, drawing, etc. Anything that's still entertainment. Nothing says that electronics is entertainment, and I just don't feel like we should have to entertain our kids with electronics. I don't care about the new day and age about tablets and all that. I'm not going to persuade a child to listen. Simple as that. Even trying to acknowledge the good things that he does do, I'm just not going to follow him for bad things. If I acknowledge or see things that he's doing good, I will acknowledge him. I will give him something, or like even going to the store, that's rewarding enough, because nothing says I have to buy you junk, which is unhealthy anyway for you. So it's just like I could go on and on about that. Like the food that they give us is not healthy for kids. Why is that not child neglect? The things that happens, there's so many kids that get molested and raped, and like y'all don't do anything about that. But at the same time, you can see, and even the CPS lady told me that, oh, it's not that, it doesn't seem as if it's one of those cases where you're unable to take care of him or that you can't take care of him, but she basically was honest with me, and that's understandable, and I can always accept honesty, that basically they would just build a case against me to say it's child neglect. That's their job. That's the only thing that they should be doing. So I feel like if I was still in Illinois, this would have went down a completely different way. But in Wisconsin, it's just not really a priority. Or maybe, like I said, I do feel like maybe it's a race thing. Maybe it's just not available to me now. As time goes on, there's no telling what's gonna happen. But like I said, I am doing my part in covering myself, because the moment I don't call or report that he left, is going to be a problem. So I am daily having to call the police. Today I may not have to, but at the same time, that's only because school is closed. And like, I'm not going to force, and I don't think I should entertain the behavior, because I feel like it's giving it too much energy, or at some point it may be recognizing in his head like that he's getting attention that way, and I'm not here to promote that. You do what you're told, and simple as that. And then to the extreme of jumping out the window, like, I'm working. There's no way your life was threatened or anything that would have caused you to do that. So that's kind of like my straw, like stealing, playing with fire, like just simple stuff. I feel like we all may have to deal with as kids get older, because they're curious. But that is not something that I understand as so dramatic that I can't deal with it. But the whole jumping out the window is kind of like, this is why it's seeking me to do other things. And it could very well be a case of bad people that he's involved with. Like, he met this boy, and it just so happens after he met this boy, like, this is when it escalated, because now he feels comfortable to vent to them. And I just honestly feel like if you're that comfortable to be in strangers' house, then foster care definitely should be an option, or some type of shelter, or to be detained. Because if his life is so threatened, then why is CPS not removing him from the household? Because clearly there's nothing wrong with him. Simple as that. So I hope everybody has a lovely day. And I am getting back into my mojo, because I am not going to allow this to affect me, because I'm not a bad person, and this is not something that I deserve. And if he wants to just be a delinquent, that's fine. Do what you have to do. I am doing my part as a parent. So for those of you who have anything negative to say, please do not leave a comment or do anything of that nature, because it's not needed. If you don't have any resources to help, then I advise to be quiet. Simple as that. So enjoy, everybody.